Hello, and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you so much for being connected to our community. If this is your first time, please let us know what city, what state, what country are you guys listening in from. We greatly appreciate your presence. My name is Issachar Bey. I am the founder and the senior director of the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. I want to thank all of you for, once again, tuning in every week. We're at the same place, same time every week to get a good dialogue, good conversation, good golden nuggets that can help us to move further on in life and achieve and access and accumulate success at a higher level. And so we are forever grateful. I want to thank all of you also. Last week was my birthday, last Sunday, and I want to thank all of you who sent emails and sent donations or sent love gifts. I want to let you know that I appreciate all of you. It's overwhelming, the love and support. It allows me to keep going because it shows that people are really connected to this community, and they really are benefiting from the knowledge, the wisdom that we are putting forth from this community. And so I am forever grateful for you all, and I thank you so much for all of the birthday love and the birthday gifts. I'm still going along with our consultations. They're still only $50. So, if you need to get a consultation and you say, listen, I got some things going on in my life, I may need some kind of strategy. I need some sense of direction in my life. I need to figure out what's 2025 going to be about for this year for me. Then go ahead and click that link in the description and go ahead and book a session with me, and you will not be disappointed. As we get ready to get into a quiet place where we can kind of relax and really take a moment, go ahead and get into a quiet place as we quiet our minds, quiet our thoughts, and we get ready to go into the spiritual mind treatment so that we can be open to hear the word, to embrace this word, and then therefore to become it and begin to manifest it in the physical realm. And so as you get ready and get in this quiet position, go ahead and take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Once again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. And again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. I turn my awareness to the divine presence, the infinite intelligence that created me in perfect uniqueness. There is only one of me in all of existence, an unrepeatable expression of the divine, formed with purpose, endowed with power, and destined to reveal the fullness of my true self. I know that I am here not to conform, not to imitate, but to embody the highest truth of who I am. I declare now that I stand fully in my authenticity. I release the fear of all judgment, all need for approval, and all pressure to fit into any mold that does not reflect my divine essence. I am enough. I am whole. I am divinely designed exactly as I am meant to be. Every part of me, my gifts, my voice, my presence, is an intentional expression of the infinite. I release all false identities, all conditioned beliefs, and all limitations that have kept me from expressing my full self. I now embrace the beauty of my identity, knowing that my authenticity is my greatest asset. What I bring to the world is needed, valued, and divinely appointed. I release this word into divine law, knowing that it is already done. I move forward in absolute confidence, standing firmly in the pillar of authenticity and shining as a radiant expression of divinity that I am. And so it is, and so it is. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. We are continuing with our series, The 8 Pillars of Success. I've been getting a lot of great feedback from you guys who are enjoying the content, who are enjoying the weekly lessons. And so we are working on the pillars of success. This week we're at number 4, and number 4 states that we're going to be dealing with the pillar of authenticity. Stay true to who you are. I think that, we live in a world where everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be an overnight success. And so we see the copycats happening. I want to dress like this person. I want to be like this person, because if I dress like this person, if I act like this person, if I look like this person, then I will be accepted by everybody, and the world will accept me, and I will be famous, and I will get notoriety. But what we don't understand is that in fact is not true. You don't get anything for being a copycat. So we always want to operate in our own authenticity. Everybody is created to be their own. You are the best version of yourself. You don't need to be a copycat. You don't need to be like anybody else. Success is not accidental. It is architectural. I love that. Success is not accidental. It's architectural, which means that you design it. It's not by mistake. It is built on pillars, strong and unwavering, holding up the structure of greatness. Each pillar represents a foundational truth, a universal law that governs achievement. Without these pillars, success is temporary, unstable, and unsustainable. The pillar of authenticity is the cornerstone of all greatness. Without authenticity, success is a performance, not a reality. When we are looking at something that's authentic, something that's real, we don't want anything that's imitation. We don't want anything that's a copycat. In the fashion world, we have all of these knockoffs, with the purses, sneakers, there's everything that's famous, everything that's of value seems to be, copycatted, seems to be duplicated. But the only thing that matters is the authenticity, the original, right? Nobody wants the copycat. Nobody wants that. We all want to have the authenticity, the authentic product. The same thing with yourself. You were born into this world to be authentic. You were born to be you. Nobody can be you better than you. Nobody. And you do not have to be like somebody else. Just be who you are. Just be authentic. Authenticity is your signature, your divine imprint, the undeniable truth of who you are. It cannot be duplicated, outsourced, or manufactured. Nobody else can be you but you. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand and know who you are. When we say that you're authentic and that nobody else can be you, nobody else can outsource, can manufacture you, you are an original, right? You have to now learn, what does that mean? Let me go within myself to find out exactly who I am. Because if you knew who you were, You would not want to be anybody else. You'll be glad that you're an original and that you are who you are. We live in a world that constantly tries to mold us, to shape us into something we are not. But the great leaders, the creators, the innovators did not follow the trends. They set the trends. They did not initiate, they originated. So again, we're not following trends, we are the trendsetters. And we're not imitating, we originate. As we explore the pillar of authenticity, I want us to remember nobody is built like you. You designed yourself. Authenticity is not just about being yourself. It's about being your highest self, the best version of yourself. It is about your alignment between who you are, what you say, and what you do. Authenticity is knowing yourself, standing firm in your values, and expressing your truth without fear. Authenticity is not people-pleasing, conformity, or seeking validation from others. See, when you become a copycat, when you try to be like somebody else, when you start talking like somebody else, you start walking like somebody else, and you start thinking you're somebody else, you are now put in a position where you're doing that to become a people pleaser. You're doing that to where you can be and getting attention and getting people to like you and getting people to conform to you. But there's no authenticity because now you've created this false premise of yourself. You begin to put on a mask and begin to portray to be something that you're not. And so while you're gaining all of this accolades and all of these so-called pleasing people conforming to you, you can't even enjoy it. You can't even embrace it because you're not even in your authentic capacity. So you have to embrace it in fakeness. The thing that matters the most is that we always try to be the best version of ourselves. I want to look at 3 dimensions of authenticity. The first one is self-discovery. You cannot be authentic if you do not know who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I summoned you to go ahead and click that link in the description and book a session with me so that we can help you to find out who you are if you don't know who you are. We can help you find out maybe what your gifts and your talents are. Find out which direction should you be going in life. Some of you may be lost. Some of you may be stuck, saying, you know what, I'm stuck. I've been so much trying to be everything that everybody wants me to be that I don't even know who I am. I've been trying to be this for my husband. I've been trying to be this for my wife. I've been trying to be this for the kids. I've been trying to be this for my mother and my father. But in being what everybody else wanted me to be, I'm stuck now because I can't even be who I am to me. The second one is self-acceptance. True power comes when you stop seeking external approval. You never want to get approval. You never want to get accolades. You never want to get love, respect, or anything outside of yourself. Why? Because anytime you go outside of yourself to get those things, you give that thing power over you. Yes, if I'm running to you for attention, if I'm running to you for love, if I'm running to you for you to give me any kind of accolades or approval, what happens now is that because I want those things so bad and I'm willing to go outside of myself and get it from you, I've now put you in a position now where you have control over me because every time I want attention, every time I want approval, every time I want what I classify as love, I'm going to go to you now, and now you have the control over me. The third thing is self-expression. Authenticity is visible. It is in how you walk, how you talk, and how you show up in the world. Let's look at most of the successful people in history. Oprah Winfrey, Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs, Maya Angelou. They built empires on authenticity, not imitation. If success requires imitation, it is not true success, it is a performance. So the best actors are the ones that give the best performance. This we just had the Oscars. We see, who won. And so the best actors are the ones that make it seem so real. Their performance is so real that you forget that they're acting, and it almost embraces you as being real. I mean, we can call so many movies. I would say, first of all, for me, would be Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X. We see that him playing Malcolm X became so much of a realization that you actually forgot that it was Denzel, and he conformed himself into really becoming Malcolm X. The performance, even though he was imitating, it was considered a performance. The biggest brands, the movements, the legacies are built on originality, not duplication. So in the fashion world, everything is built on originality and authentication, right? Um, when we talk about brands, when we talk about the stores, uh, the shopping stores that we go to, everything, their brand is built on their authentication, right? The ability to be authentic, the ability to be original, the ability to be in that spectrum of being the best version of themselves, being the originals, not being a copycat. If I had to break down the word authentication or authentication, A would be alignment, U would be unshakable, T would be truth, H would be humility, E would be essence, N would be non-conformity, T would be tenacity, I would be integrity, C would be character, I would be individuality, T would be timeliness, and Y would be your voice, authenticity. I am unapologetic myself. I do not seek approval. I give approval of myself. My authenticity is my superpower. No one can duplicate my energy. I stay true to my essence, knowing that originality creates legacy. One of the things that I love about these teachings is that when we get into these teachings are not just for now. These teachings are helping us to, yes, create legacy, to create generation. And so we look at things from a generational aspect and understand the importance of legacy, of building something that will stand the test of time. And even after we're long gone, it still stands and it continues to just keep regenerating and repurposing. One of the things that's important to me when you think about authenticity is alignment. When you align with your truth, your doors will begin to open effortlessly. Alignment is so powerful to me because you want to make sure that you're in the right alignment with your purpose, your destiny, with your thinking, with what you're speaking, your intentions. So being in alignment, it's so important when we start talking about the pillar of authenticity. This is a very important pillar because in order to be successful, you got to have authenticity. I don't want to be like my brother. I don't want to be like my sister. I have my own individual of who I am, my own unique mindset, the way that I was born into this incarnation, the things that I like, the things that I don't like, the things that make me laugh, the things that make me cry. I'm just an original. But even in my uniqueness, in my originality, I'm still able to achieve success. I'm still able to be the best version of myself. When you get into being authentic, you get into understanding influence. Because the more authentic you are, the more powerful you impact. You know, authenticity makes you stand out in the crowd because you're not trying to be like everybody else. You're not trying to fit in. You're standing out. And so what happens is, although you may feel out of place, you're actually just being you. It's better to feel in originality than to succeed in imitation. Let me say that again. It's better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Uh, Nobody wants to be an imitator, the imitation of life. You want to be able to have what we call a creative real life, a free life, a life of great experiences, great accomplishments, and so forth, right? Achievements. You don't want an imitation of life. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people out here who are living an imitation of life. We see them in the public, they look fine, they look well, but when they go home, they're miserable, they're depressed, they have to take pills to go to sleep at night, they got to take pills to wake up. The imitation of life. When we talk about how to live in being the best version of ourselves, we have to also let ourselves know we're not perfect. We are a progress. We are a work in progress, which means everybody is striving to be a better person. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody that's listening to me now, we are all evolving. We will not be in the same place now that we were last year this time. We're all evolving. We're going to be 1 year older this year. We're going to be much more wiser this year. We're going to be much more aware this year. So if you're going to be operating in authenticity, you gotta let yourself know that and give yourself to evolve and to grow and to begin to develop. Because it doesn't matter what age you are, you're still growing, you're still developing, you're still learning. We're all learning something new every day. We're all seeing something that we can embrace and learn every day. But when you live in authenticity, there's a couple of things we need to do. Find your unique voice. Everybody has their own voice. Find your voice. Find out and ask yourself, what do I stand for? And some of you may say, you know what, I don't know what I stand for. When you realize what you stand on, then you can realize what you stand for. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys are standing on the pillars of success. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. What makes you different from everybody else? Because that's what's going to be the $1,000,000 question, is what makes you different from everybody else. And you need to always remember that what makes you different is that you are the best original version of yourself. There are no copycats. You are the best original version of yourself. Create your own path. Success has no one size fits all model. There is no one size fits all. Everybody's journey with success is going to be different. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to be tailor made. It's going to be tailored to each and every one of you. It's going to be custom. It's a custom job. It's not one size fits all. It's a custom. The greatest entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders broke every rule that didn't align with them. When you start operating in authenticity, you will start realizing that some things just do not connect with who you are. And so, yes, you don't have to conform to that, but you can learn how to grow and how to elevate. Be transparent about your journey. People connect with realness, not necessarily perfection. Vulnerability is power. Own your truth. It's nothing wrong with being vulnerable to let people know, this is where I came from. This is the struggle. This is the journey that it took for me to get here. These are some of the things that I went through. Because what I want is I want you to understand my journey and my story, and also your journey validates the authenticity of who you are, because it shines light on what you went through, and what you went through shaped and molded you. It allowed you to be successful. It allowed you to be great. It allowed you to be in a position where you can now expand and grow. And so I want to be in a position where I'm able to be transparent, because I have nothing to hide. I'm not wearing a mask. We're not trying to be somebody who we're not. We're not trying to fit into the crowd. We're not trying to gain all of this attention. We're not trying to be overnight famous. We understand the concept of what we're doing. We understand the concept of life. We understand the concept of our individuality that we are in, and we understand our authentic selves of who I am. And so that allows us to be in those positions. Success is built on trust, and trust is built on authenticity. People don't buy products, they buy stories, energy, and truth. And so, to all of my entrepreneurs, when you're selling something, when you are standing in front of something, when you are promoting something, you are promoting you, because there's no separation between you and your product, you and your brand. The more authentic you are, the more the people connect to you, because they connect to your spirit. They connect to your originality, and they connect to the realness. And see, when you're authentic, you don't have to fake. You don't have to try to do it. You don't have to prop yourself up to do it. You don't have to force yourself to do it. It flows naturally because you're flowing in who you really are. The biggest personal brands are built on authenticity, not imitation. Yeah, so any stores that we love to go shopping in, for instance, uh, we can go anywhere and buy candles, but everybody goes to Bath and Body and buy the 3 wick candles. Why? Because Bath and Body is authentic in who they are. They have their own brand. They have their own uniqueness, their own originality, right? So uh, I see candles, the 3 wick candles, being sold all over the place, but it's the authenticity of the brand that we are accustomed to with the Bath and Body, with the different smells, the different scents. They have the big sales, and so we move into this because these companies, just like you, they're authentic. They don't have to be anybody else. They don't have to try to do anything else what anybody else is doing. They can be original in who they are. The same thing with you, ladies and gentlemen who are married. You don't have to try to be something that you think your husband or your wife wants to be. Just be you. When your husband and your wife married you, they married you because of who you were. The authentic side, the authentic you. Not trying to be somebody else, not trying to be a people pleaser, or you think your wife or your husband wants you to be this way, or you think they want you to do this, and you think they want you to be this way. Just be who you are. I think one of the most hard things in life is to try to please everybody and only find yourself in a depressed state because you tried to please everybody and nobody was pleased. Nobody was pleased. So you please the people on the left and the people on the right are upset. And then you please the people on the right and then the people on the left are upset. Nobody's ever going to be pleased at what you do. But you have to make sure that you are pleased with what you do. You're the only one that matters. And sometimes that's very difficult because we're so connected to what other people think and how other people feel about us and what are they going to say about me and how are they going to do this and that about me if I don't do this. When you have to realize that those people that you're worried about are not going to make or break you. Those people that you are worrying about were not sitting at the table when you had to pay your mortgage and when you had to go finance a car. They weren't sitting there. So why would you allow people to have that much power and that much free rent space in your head to where we're worrying about what other people say about us and we're worrying about what other people are thinking about us when those people don't matter? Stop trying to fit into the industry. Create your own lane. I love this because no matter what field you work in, no matter what you want to do in life, yes, it's always good to get a mentor. It's always good to get somebody who's been through what you're getting ready to go through. But you always want to make sure that you are creating your own lane. Because when you create your own lane, you don't have to worry about being in anybody else's lane or somebody saying that, oh, this person is trying to be like me. You don't have to worry about all of that because you created your own lane. You're not worried about what anybody else is doing. Make your brand a reflection of your truth and not just a business strategy. Make your brand a reflection of your truth. To my entrepreneurs, to my business owners, make sure it's a reflection of truth. You always want to be true to yourself about how you feel. You always want to be true to yourself about how you operate and how you move. I attract success by staying true to who I am. My uniqueness is my competitive advantage. I built a brand, I built a business based on truth, trust, and originality. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever you do, you want to make sure that you do it in truth, you do it in trust, and you do it in originality. There's so many copycats that it's great to know that there's some originality. There's some original people out here. There's some people who are operating in their authenticity. They're not trying to be like everybody else. They're not trying to fit in. They're not trying to be copycats. And there's no greater time than the presence to walk in who you are. But ladies and gentlemen, you got to love who you are. Because to me, and I don't know why I'm going this way, maybe somebody's listening needs to hear this. I feel that a lot of times when we move into being a copycat and we move into being other people, it's because we don't love ourselves. We're not happy with ourselves. And so what we do is we try to be somebody else because we figure like if I can be somebody else, the world will love me, people will love me, my family will love me. The attention I needed from my parents, the attention I needed from my husband or my wife, they feel like they could be somebody else and get that attention, not knowing that you never want to go outside of yourself. And so at the end of the day, you really got to deal with yourself in that authenticity because you don't want to try to be like anybody else. I want to be loving. I want to be careful. I want to be great. And even in my understanding of how to operate, I still feel connected to the real me. And ladies and gentlemen, you got to love yourself. You got to like yourself. And guess what? If there's anybody listening to me right now and you look yourself in the mirror and you say, I don't love me, I don't love the way I look, I don't feel good about myself, I want you to know right now you can change that. You can change it, yes. Because guess what? If you don't love you and you're not happy with you, you're not authentic. And so we have to get all of that out of the way so that now you can connect with the authentic you, the original version of who you are. But you can change that. You don't have to go through life being unhappy because you don't love yourself or because you're not happy with what's going on in your life. You're not happy with the things that are going on in your life around you. And so you're just going through life unhappy. You don't have to be unhappy. You can enjoy life and be the original version of yourself. You can be you and not feel the shame about some of the choices and the things that you like. I really hope that this message today really sets some people free. People who have been hiding behind the mask. Just take the mask off. And some of us have been wearing a mask so long we forgot who we are. We don't even know who we really are in our authentic self. We've been portraying somebody else and being somebody else that we want the world to love and we want our families and our friends to love and not even knowing that we done been this person or been portraying, being copycatting so long that we forgot who we are. We got lost. But now it's time to be found. Now it's time to go ahead and become the best version of yourself. Authenticity plus consistency equals influence. Authenticity plus consistency equals influence. Let me tell you this, influence is extremely important, because when you start operating in authenticity, guess what happens, ladies and gentlemen? You only attract in life what you are. Listen to this and hear me good. You only attract in life what you are. So if I'm operating in my authenticity and I'm operating as the best original version of myself, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I can only attract authenticity. If I'm operating in that, I can only attract that. So if you are attracting people around you that seems to always be copycat and always be, falsifying, putting on the mask, pretending to be something that they're not, and you keep attracting those kind of people around you, you have to now look yourself in the mirror and say, why am I keep attracting people who are not authentic, people who are not the original best versions of themselves? Why am I attracting that? There's something in me that's pulling that in. And so that's why you have to look at, am I really operating as my authentic self? Because I want to start attracting authentic people, people who are real, people who are not copycats, or who are not trying to wear a mask and be other people, people who are not really hiding behind the pain, the brokenness that they're living in. And so they're really walking around acting like they're happy and acting like they love life to the greatest, but then behind closed doors, they're depressed and brokenhearted and distraught. So I want to attract authentic people, people who are real, people who are authentic and transparent, loving, caring, and kind. But what you see is what you get. They're just that all the way. Authentic. Not phony and fake, real, authentic. The world respects those who own their truth and act on it. You got to own your truth about who you are. And that's why it's important about self-awareness, self-identity, knowing who you are. Be so unapologetic that people can't ignore your presence. See, when you become authentic, you can become unapologetic, and guess what? People can't ignore your presence, because your presence is so original, it's so authentic that when you walk in, you begin to pull that energy. That energy will begin to flow. I am my greatest asset. I never dilute my power. I walk in my truth, and the right people are drawn to me effortlessly. Authenticity is my currency. It creates influence, wealth, and legacy. Yes, authenticity, it's it's currency. Authenticity is consciousness. Ladies and gentlemen, consciousness is our only reality. It's the only thing that allows me to be authentic to myself. It's consciousness. Without authenticity, success is a mask. Without authenticity, influence is temporary. Without authenticity, there is no true fulfillment. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you truly are. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you truly are. You have to be who you are in the fullness. You got to be it. I have to be who I create myself to be, the experiences that I want to experience, and I think that it's a hard situation to be in when you're forcing yourself to be something that you're not. You're not happy because you're not you. So you have to portray and be something that you're not. And so in that, understanding what happens with me being true to who I am, truth sets you free. They said, you should know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But what you have to understand is that the truth, when it sets you free, it can also set you free by letting you know the good, bad, and the ugly. Yes, there's some changes that need to be made. There's some things that need to be let go of, released, let go, get rid of. There's some changes that need to take place on a mental level, on a subconscious mind level, on a conscious level. I commit to the pillar of authenticity. I own my truth, walk in confidence, and never dilute my greatness. My success is built on originality, not imitation. It's built on originality, not imitation. Listen, I'm glad that some of you will get. It is my intent that you all will get something out of today's message. That becoming the best version of yourself, becoming that authentic person, is something that happens for a lifetime. This is not something we do for 30, 60, and 90 days. This is a lifetime transformation. Now remember, we only get out of life what we become. So if I become authentic, if I become the best authentic version of myself, guess what happens, ladies and gentlemen? I start experiencing things in life at that level. What does an authentic life look like? What does an authentic life feel like? You only get out of life who you are. And so once I change who I am, I begin to change my life. Remember, your thought style changes your lifestyle, right? Here's the next thing. In life, a lot of times we try to change things, situations, and circumstances. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to change you. And when you change you, the circumstances, the situations, and things will begin to change. For instance, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, I think it's Mark 11:24. It says, whatever you pray for, believe that you have received it. And only after you have believed that you have received it, then and only then will it be given to you. So people say all the time, Oh yeah, prayer changes things. You got to pray, and once you pray, everything will be all right. That's not what prayer does. Prayer doesn't change you. I'm sorry, prayer doesn't change the thing. Prayer changes you, and then you change the situation. Let me give you an example. I'm praying for this financial miracle. I'm praying for this money to come to my hands. And so I'm praying to God, God bless me with this money. We need this money. We need this. We need this. We're praying. Now, the Bible didn't say do that. The Bible says if you're praying for this money, Issachar, believe that you have received that money. And once you believe that you have received it, then and only then will the money manifest to show up in your life. So guess what? Prayer didn't give me the money. Prayer allowed me to change my mental state, change my beliefs, change my faith, and allow me to convince myself and to believe that I've received it. And however long that takes for me to do will determine when and if that money shows up in my life. So prayer didn't change the money situation. Prayer changed me. And according to my faith, it will allow me to determine whether or not that money will show up. The same thing happens, my ladies and gentlemen, with authenticity. The more authentic you become, the best version of yourself, you begin to fall in love with yourself. You begin to love yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly. Why I say that? Ladies and gentlemen, everybody has flaws. Everybody has weaknesses. Everybody has strengths. So when you understand who you are and your authenticity, you learn how to use that. You learn how to use the weakness. You learn how to use maybe the flaws or the things that you're still working out, the kinks and everything. Nobody's perfect. But even in that, being authentic and being true to yourself, it sets you at a certain level. It sets you at a certain alignment in life where you begin to experience life at a different pace and a different level. And so I want to make sure that we are understanding the importance of this pillar. This is a very important pillar because you can fool me, you can fool him, but you can never fool yourself. And I don't want anybody to have to live a life where you have to continue to hide and continue to portray to be something else, continue to run away from the problems, the issues, the circumstances by hiding and trying to be somebody else and hiding behind a mask because you can't really or you don't really want to deal with the issues of life or the issues that you have engulfed in your situation and in your situation circumstance. And so you have pulled out of becoming or opted out of the authenticity of life because you would rather be somebody else or you would rather hide and pretend to be somebody else as a copycat and begin to put out the false images and the false displays that your life is wonderful and that your life is marvelous and that you're having this splendid, magnanimous life, monumental life, when inside you're dying, you're depressed, you are broken. But it's only when you start to let those things go and you start to deal with you and look at you and begin to start dealing with the authentic you. And when you start dealing with the authentic you, you'll see your life begin to change. Life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. Life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. As we stand on this pillar today, ladies and gentlemen, of authenticity, let us stand with our head up high in the sky, looking into the stars to say, I am operating as the best original version of myself. I'm operating in my authentic self. I love me. I love everything about myself. I'm a work in progress. And I'm on this journey to greatness. I'm on this journey to success. I'm on it. Success is not, or success is not accidental. It's architectural. Success is not accidental. It's architectural, which means that we create success. We design it. We lay it out. Success doesn't happen by mistake. And so when you understand that and you move in that realm, you realize, and that's what we teach here. We are trying to get everybody that's listening to this how to become the best version of yourself. Ladies that are married, don't try to change your husband, change you. Husbands, you're trying to change your wife, don't try to change your wife, change you. And when you start operating in your authentic self, your wife now has to change because you're not the same no more. Ladies, you have to change you. Once you start operating in your authentic self, your husband now has to change because you're not the same anymore. You have now aligned yourself as the authentic best version of yourself. And so now you're at a whole new plateau, a different level of consciousness. Everybody in the house has to change their consciousness in order to deal with you now because you're not the same. That goes for every aspect, every relationship, whether it's coworker, brother or sister, son, daughter, mother, father. It all pans out the same. Life gives to the giver and takes from the taker. You always must be giving, pouring. As you pour, somebody pours back into you. As you pour, as a man soweth, that shall he also reap. The more you pour, the more it gets poured back into you. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's message. I hope that everybody got something out of this. This was phenomenal. I love these teachings, the pillar of authenticity. As we go out this week, let us make sure that we are operating as our authentic self. I want to give everybody the opportunity to, if you haven't done so, in the description, you can go hit the link. You can set up a consultation with me. All consultations are still $50. You can also, if you want to join in our circulation, if you're saying, hey, brother, you really teach some good stuff. This message really blessed me. It really opened me up to some things that I'm dealing with. I haven't been dealing in my authenticity. I haven't really been myself, but you're really opening up some things, brother. And I want to be a blessing to you. I want to be a blessing to this ministry. There's 4 ways that you can donate. We ask everybody for a $26 seed, but if you don't have the $26, if you have 5, 10, if you want to give 15, some of you may want to give more than 26. It's fine. There's 4 ways that you can give. The first way is going to be our Cash App, $TOESC. Once again, that's $TOESE. The second is going to be Zelle and PayPal. Our Zelle and PayPal is going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. Once again, these giving options are also in the description in the bottom. Once again, the Zelle and PayPal are going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. And then also we have Venmo. Venmo is going to be Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY at gmail.com. And that's going to be for Venmo. Those of you that want to use Venmo, those are the 4 ways that you can give: Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and Venmo. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. Once again, if you can, please hit the like button so that we can raise our algorithms. If you can, go ahead and subscribe to our channel so that we can notify you of upcoming things and keep you in the loop. And also, if this message was great to you and you love any of our messages, any of our content, please hit the share button and go ahead and copy that link and text it and email it to your friends, your family, and your loved ones, and tell them to come over here and become a part of the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center family. And we are forever grateful. I want to again thank everybody for all the birthday wishes and the birthday gifts. Hey, if you missed out on it and you want to be a part of that and you say, hey, man, happy belated birthday, I want to send you something. You can send it to me. You have it there. Also, our physical address is in the description. Those of you that want to send a check or a money order or any physical products, you can send it to that mailing address, and we will receive it. It's in the description in the bottom. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. Once again, I want to say this one thing. Your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.